Can you believe there's only 2 months left of 2018? Wow, it's still crazy to me when I say that out loud. If you're watching this on the day that this video goes live, it is Tuesday, November 7th. Quick public service announcement. If you have not voted already, please make sure that you do today. No matter what your political leanings are, make sure that you get out and exercise your right to vote if you are old enough. So, now let's get to the topic at hand. The CF gut.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
We all know that gut, or those of us, or most of us know that gut. That sort of bloated, expanded, gassy stomach that makes us look like we're pregnant sometimes, depending on what we've eaten or how our body's digesting food that day. So this week we're going to talk about what are we sort of doing to help control that or limit the amount of times that it happens. And this is something actually right now that I'm playing a lot with right now, trying to figure out how to limit that happening. It's something that, yes, I've experienced all my life, but I feel like over the past probably 18 months to 2 years, it has become more of a noticeable problem to me, or more of a problem, and I don't know if that is why that is. Why all of a sudden now I feel it more often than I used to. Maybe I'm paying attention to it more. I don't know. But I have noticed, and it's something that I'm playing with, and a lot of that experimenting is with the different foods that I eat. It's with my enzymes. I'm also incorporating different essential oils into my diet to try to help aid the digestion process and limit some of that bloating by bringing some balance back into my gut. And so some of the different things that I've been playing with is, I guess I would say the biggest ones as of late is that I have tried to essentially remove all dairy products and meat from my diet as much as possible. I don't do this because of this huge desire to be a vegetarian. I actually love meat. I love to smoke barbecue and all of that stuff. But for me, the majority of the time, I have noticed that when I eat meat or dairy, that I get that bloating, big belly, gassy CF gut feeling, no matter even if I take all of my enzymes or if I don't. And so I have tried to remove that as much as possible. I used to drink milk from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not lunch, but mostly there for breakfast and dinner. I'd have a big bowl of Greek yogurt for breakfast. We'd always have some sort of chicken or beef or pork sausages or whatever at dinner. On the weekends, all that stuff. But what I have started to do as much as possible, limit the amount of that I have. And so I switched to a pea protein milk that I drink now in the mornings and in the evenings, which still gives me the calcium and the vitamin D and all the protein. In fact, it has more protein than a regular glass of milk. And so I've substituted that for the morning for when I want a milk product, and also so I don't lose that calcium. I've eaten a lot more, nuts and seeds and vegetables and fruit for all of those meals, and beans. So that's sort of helped that's helped to not lose the protein side of it and stay healthy and get all the nutrients that I need through the food. But it's helped to limit the amount of meat. And I have noticed that by doing that, after I eat food, I'm not as bloated anymore. So that's sort of the biggest thing that I have noticed. The other thing that I'm starting to play with now is my enzymes and how my body, I've noticed that as I've been on Simnico for about a year now, I digest food differently, it feels like. And so sometimes I see that if I take my normal amount of pills that I was pre-Simnico, I get backed up and stopped up in the through the foods I eat. And so I started to play with those amounts of pills to try to find that good balance that still allows me to digest my food and have as much of a normal gut as possible, but not too much that I'm getting stopped up, and not too less that I'm having stomach aches and not digesting any food at all. So it's almost like I feel like sometimes I'm over digesting my food, if that's possible. The other thing that I'm working on to try to help, and I've noticed that I have actually cut down, I've removed at least one pill that I take for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sometimes two, and with snacks. So that's just me. Something I'm still playing with back and forth, but that's one thing that I'm doing to sort of help with some of the CF gut issue. Another one is I take a probiotic every morning and every evening. I homebrew my own kombucha. I've noticed that since drinking that for about the past year and a half, that really helps with my digestion and my stomach and processing of food, and sort of trying to limit some of that, increase the good bacteria in my gut and limit the bad bacteria, so help with that CF gut problem. And the other thing that I've started to do is to incorporate some essential oils into my diet to sort of help with the digestion process. I like to use one called Digestin from doTERRA that I put with my water every morning. That helps it sometimes if my stomach starts to get upset. Obviously, like ginger or peppermint, some of those things help to also eventually sort of calm that stomach down. So those are just a couple of the ways that I'm working on right now. Like I said, it's sort of an experiment process still for me. But I would say the biggest one that I have noticed that's made the biggest impact in that on a regular basis, or initially, is the fact that I've removed dairy and meats as much as possible. And I know that a lot of people in the CF community are starting to talk about that. And doesn't mean I don't eat meat at all. I just limit the interaction that I have with it, because I have noticed that when I have one meal without it, how much better I feel than the meal that I do potentially eat that includes meat, and so, or dairy. And so that's what I've been doing. I'd love to hear how you guys can combat it. If you have questions, what your thoughts are. How is it, how have you noticed interactions? Are you experimenting or playing with something? Obviously, always make sure you're talking to your doctor and consulting with your care team, your nutritionist, to make sure that you're still getting all the right vitamins and minerals and stuff like that you need to stay healthy, and that you're actually looking out for yourself always first. So with that, have a great evening. Don't forget to vote if you haven't already, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thanks a lot. Take care.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.